Morning, guys. Thanks for attending this meeting in regards to an incident that occurred at the Rehabilitation Centre last week. Before we get stuck into it, I just want to go through a couple of ground rules. All electronics and gadgets are to be switched off. Confidential and privacy statements are handed out, and that will need to be signed off before we begin this meeting. And when speaking, please be respectful about what you are saying and how you are saying things, and listening also, please be respectful, and don't speak over the top of each other and allow people to speak in that.
To sign those forms?
Yep, so there's that. You just need to sign that too, please. Carl. Alright. So, in this meeting, we're just debriefing basically exactly what has happened. So we'll start off by discussing the incident and how you're feeling and stuff like that. So, Carl, would you like to talk about the incident, what happened with Wayne at the Rehabilitation Centre?
Basically I was debriefing with Wayne at the centre, and he was getting a bit agitated, and he took a bit of violent action and decided to punch me.
Okay. So was that in the first session, or when did that happen?
It happened in about the third session in. The first session he was obviously getting a bit more agitated. I was very unaware. And then the second session he was a bit stressed, I believe. And then, the third session when I walked in, he basically punched me.
Okay. All right. I have read over your incident reports that you guys submitted to HR. Eve, how was your take on the whole incident?
I thought you handled it quite well. I think he was just very, very aggressive, but
Could you pinpoint any triggers as such, or any moments in the discussions that he became escalated?
It was gradual, but it seemed to be a real trigger was around something around, I don't know, you mentioned something about his wife or kids or family or something.
Yeah.
But it seemed to be something around that.
Okay.
Maybe his wife even, I think it was more that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do we know anything about his wife? Is she in contact with him at the moment, or is...
I think they've obviously got a relationship breakdown. Things aren't good there. My take probably was around that, maybe there's a little bit of blame for the wife for something. I don't know what happened with the relationship breakdown, but
so we weren't able to gather that information in the sessions.
No, he was too shut off from all of that. He was just too angry. He wasn't communicating anything. But certainly there was a lot of emotion, whatever come out about the wife. So I don't know whether there's something's happened there, whether she's cheated or she's left him or what. But
he didn't let off anything.
No, certainly didn't let off anything around that. But he just got really, really aggressive.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So I've got a form that we're going to go through together and fill out. I guess my techniques during this session will be mainly around strategies on how to help if this situation does occur, and how we're going to resolve this incident as it is. When the physical altercation happened, you chased up medical attention after it. And what was that in report? Was there any injury or anything that occurred?
Just a lot of bruising, basically.
Okay.
But no real end result.
Okay. So you're okay?
Yeah.
Then? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So just going through a little bit of those things, and then I guess listening to how you guys are feeling about it now that the incident has occurred, and how it's going to affect you in the long term, because we need to stay on top of that and manage this the best we can. Moving forward with that, the next session that we do have with him, it's you guys have a right to say no. If you guys don't want to participate in the next session with him, that's okay. I feel as your case manager that I am going to attend that, just so I can meet with him and start to try build that relationship and just see what's going on and why he's behaving the way that he is. A little break from him will be the best for now, though. I need to get in contact with the rehabilitation centre and see how he is after the incident as well, and just gauging how he's feeling too, because that's really important in this. I'm just going to pull up the template and we're going to go through that together. Alright, so I just need to feel...
It'd be even interesting to see if maybe it was an anniversary or something. Maybe it's his birthday.
Yeah. We need to kind of see if we can gather some background information off the facility that he's staying in, and see if he had any engagement with previous services before, and that will allow us to, I guess, get a bit of a better understanding of what's happening for him at the moment. I mean, this is his first time in the rehabilitation centre, so it would be quite daunting and bring up a lot of emotional triggers and stuff for him. So in that consideration, I think we just need to kind of take a different approach, maybe even having a different meeting location, having more of like an informal, and just maybe building that relationship before we start going into the assessment process and trying to do that plan, working like within a time frame at the same time as well though. So we've already discussed what had happened. So when we spoke about why it happened, we can't be 100%, but assuming that a trigger was family related in subject to his wife.
And there's not a lot of info about his wife in the case notes either.
Okay.
His intake or anything like that. So he hasn't been too forward in coming forward in that information. So
yeah. Okay. A couple of questions just in a reflection of the incident. What did you feel with what happened and why? So I guess just simplifying that, how did you feel when it was happening?
A little bit stressful.
Yeah.
Definitely stressful. So it's sort of, I guess you didn't expect him to actually lash out.
So you felt stressed just because it was an unpredictable response?
Yep. As much as he was aggressive, I didn't expect him to punch anyone.
Yeah.
Everybody, has a little bit of steam to get off their head, but yeah, he just went at the next step. So it was a little unexpected.
And have you dealt with physical altercations before, Eve? Or not?
Not from male.
Okay.
No. Not from a very large male.
Yeah. How did you feel, Carl, in regards to the incident?
Yeah, I was definitely very shook, for sure. It was very unexpected.
So in an instance of describing that you were shook, were there a specific emotion that you were feeling during that? Like, was it you were upset or anxious or anything, or?
Yeah, definitely very anxious, for sure.
Yeah. And why do you think you were feeling so anxious?
Just...
I mean, apart from the fact that it was a pretty serious incident.
Yeah, just very misunderstood from the action that was taken, I guess.
So you didn't feel like the situation deserved that type of emotional reaction?
No, for sure not.
I know, Carl, that you had a couple of interactions with him. So your first meeting was with him, and then Eve was brought in after that to see if that was a smoother transition for him, that he was able to feel more comfortable. With your first interaction with him, what was your reaction to him as a client? What was your first take on the impressions of him?
Yeah, I guess he was very upfront, very demanding. I don't know, he's very hard to read, I guess.
Yeah. So within the end result, obviously you were physically assaulted. What was your reaction during that incident?
I just didn't really believe that it was happening.
So it took you a while to process?
Yeah, for sure.
And were you aware of appropriate management skills when you were in that situation?
In a way, yeah.
So what were they?
Basically, sort of step back, don't get really too much involved.
Start to disengage?
Yeah, for sure.
And
what was your reaction during the incident?
Yeah, I was a little bit shocked. So I probably, as I said, as much as he was very aggressive, it sort of come from left field. I didn't think he was going to actually throw a punch. So it was a bit of, sort of had to question whether I should have done something before, but I felt like I wasn't actually helping the situation anyway. Being a female, he just had nothing for me.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't engage with me in any way, really.
Yeah.
But I guess I was sort of looking at like an exit strategy, trying to look around how do we get safe in this? How do we lock him in a room by himself, kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's super important. Always knowing your position within a room, because these things can happen really unexpectedly.
Well, he was the one closest to the door too.
Yeah.
So that's why it was so unexpected. It was like, oh shit, we actually would have had to get around him to get out the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yes. So your reaction, as in the emotion, was shocked and unexpected and frightened, and then your response. So I think it said in one of the incident reports that he was quite escalated when you guys first met for that third encounter. How did you respond to that when he first initially came in the room and was quite aggressive?
Well, I just tried to talk him down, so I just tried to really lower my voice and try to listen to what he was trying to say, not over-talk him or anything like that. Just letting him try to talk, but he wasn't calming when he was trying to get what he was getting off his chest. He actually kept escalating.
Oh, okay,
instead of, how sort of people get angry and you yell and then you sort of calm back down. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah.
Because we'll just let him have his say kind of thing. But even trying to lower voice and just trying to use all those sort of non-verbal communication keys, nothing was...
Nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
Okay. For you, Carl? How did you respond when he came in and he was quite escalated?
Yeah, for sure. I was still very shook from the situation. I guess I wasn't really expecting it, so yeah.
Were you speaking with him or were you talking?
I was trying to, but he just seemed really upfront and it was very hard to sort of calm the situation.
We had soft voices and we were sort of walking away from him at some stages as well, so we weren't even in his face.
Yeah.
There was quite a bit of distance and he was sort of,
very angry.
Yeah.
What were the consequences of your actions to the people involved? So the people involved were yourselves, the client, and then when assistance came from the facility, when you guys had to get some assistance in that. So what do you think the consequences were of your actions to the people involved? It's a bit of a tough question.
Yeah, I kind of feel a consequence of actions is maybe I should have stepped out of the room because I still stayed there, and because there's obviously some sort of trigger with females. I feel like that could have escalated a little bit more.
Okay.
So I probably, stayed a little bit too long perhaps, or maybe we both should have exited the room, and because we didn't, that's why he's, maybe if we weren't there and he had no one to yell at, it might not have got to the point that it did.
Okay.
So I guess one of the consequences is us staying escalated the issue, or even me staying as such, knowing that there said to be some sort of trigger with his wife or female at that point in time.
Yeah.
I don't think anything I said was ever going to register anyway.
Yeah.
So I should have probably identified that earlier.
Okay. I think, you guys did like everything that you could, and obviously stating that he was in the position of the doorway and that he came in, he was already quite agitated. That could have been communicated through his workers within the rehabilitation centre. You guys, could have forfeited that meeting before it even started if he had a bad morning. Yeah, so that communication between, the two services and staff, that's super important, because then we can kind of...
Because even if they knew it was his wedding anniversary or something, who knows? So if they had known something, then we may not have had to go at all.
Yeah. What were you thinking when responding to what was happening? Kind of, the same thing.
Yeah, it's quite upsetting. I got a little bit upset.
Yeah.
I'd say. Probably through shock, and it's not nice seeing a co-worker get hit. It's kind of, when it hits you, sort of your adrenaline's pumping and whatever, but then the reality hits and it's
definitely
certainly sets in. So
And how are you feeling, Carl?
Yeah, probably about the same. Very upset. Yeah.
Just trying to think, how can we get safe? And then at the same time, you're sort of thinking, oh shit, what's going on with this bloke?
Yeah.
But,
so definitely, that panic.
Yeah.
What were you feeling when responding to what was happening? Okay, we can come back to that.
Yeah.
What influenced you to respond the way you did?
Oh, well, those two questions are kind of very similar. I always say I was scared. He's a big man.
Yeah.
He's a big bloke. And all I could think was, if it was just me in there.
Yeah, the potential,
Yeah, so I would say, at the time I was scared, and I was thinking...
It definitely sounds like the way you guys handled it, though, was super professional, respectful, and you used some of the best techniques out there to try de-escalate a situation. So I guess having your type of experience and stuff, that definitely would have helped that natural ability to go, you know what, he's really angry and he's escalating quite quickly. I need to remain calm. We need to give him space.
For sure.
In the evaluation of the incident, what was good about the experience?
I think the support of each other was good.
Yeah.
I think support from you and our organisation to make sure that our safety was, obviously the highest priority. I think that's really important, and to know that, it's okay to not be okay about it.
Yeah.
And that there is support there.
Yeah. Carl, how are you feeling? What was good about the experience?
But definitely the outcome wasn't the best, but probably the way we handled it was really good.
Yeah.
We did the best we could.
What was bad about the situation? Physical assault.
Assault. The trauma that we all have to go through for it.
My sore belly.
Yeah.
Not sore belly,
Physical assault. The verbal abuse.
And the distrust of the client now.
Yeah, broken relationship. Trauma.
I guess that got to that situation as well. That's, if someone had known what the trigger was, if it was, something happened with the wife that day, it would have been better.
Yeah.
So those sort of circumstances surrounding it is probably...
what else could you have done about what happened? Which you kind of touched base on that before, which was leaving, exiting the room.
Yeah. And probably sort of saying to him, this behaviour is not okay as well.
Yeah, not accepting that.
And sort of saying to him, if you continue, we're going to have to leave.
Yeah.
And sort of putting it back there.
And that communication, I guess next time, just making a quick phone call and seeing how he is. And what can be done to minimise the risk of the incident happening again? Like communication?
Yeah, even meeting up with the caseworkers beforehand to get a little bit of an overview of what's happening.
Well, through and through the rehabilitation centre, they may have also developed a behaviour management plan. So in support of that program, we can get a copy of that and start following some of those plans and stuff that they've got in place. And with our company, we also have those policies in regards to aggressive behaviours and crisis situations. So maybe we can just refresh each other on that. So I can email that to you guys. How do you feel about the incident now? Carl, how do you feel?
Still obviously not the most best about it, but definitely seeing more of an outcome situation to it. Just probably wishing that it would not happen again.
Yeah, so maybe just dissecting the incident, I guess, just to break it down. So processing. And just getting that clarity. And how are you feeling, Eve?
Yeah, okay. Not as good as I'd like to be. Still probably a little bit, jumpy.
Okay, yeah.
Just waiting for other people. Like if I hear someone yell, I'm a little bit jumpy.
Yeah. How have you made sense of this experience in light of the past experiences and future practice?
Make sense of it. People get angry.
Yeah.
Everyone's got emotions and people deal with their emotions differently, and it's just about identifying triggers and when to step out, when you can help it, when, you can't.
What insights have you gained?
Actions speak louder than words.
Yeah. What changes can be implemented from what has occurred?
I suppose with the
communication.
Yep. Having that sort of debrief or case note and kind of hand over stuff.
How will we know if the changes have been effective? I guess if the incidents become lesser.
Yep.
Not going to get punched again.
Okay. Right. I'll go through that, and then with the strategies that I provided, I'm really impressed with the work that you guys have done, and I'm in full support of you guys in regards to this. I would like to follow up with you a little bit more around a couple of support resources with you, Eve. But I'll also touch base with you, Carl, with a follow-up meeting and just seeing how you're going and how you're feeling and providing those support services as well for you. This is a very big incident and I don't want you guys to take this lightly. I am taking this really serious and you guys unfortunately sometimes do come into situations like this and it's just how we manage it from here on out. So that providing that emotional support and that debriefing, if you guys ever need to come and chat, I'm always here to help and support you guys. And like I said, moving forward, I'll be attending a session and just evaluating that. And if we need to refer him out and provide those resources, I'll be doing whatever I can to help him and us the best we can.
Cool.
All right, thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Eve, just checking up in retrospect to the meeting that we had the other day. I went over the checklist that you completed. In it did say that there was a little bit of distress in regards to the incident. And I know that when we discussed it in the team meeting, it was a bit hard to kind of really pinpoint each individual need. So I just wanted to have a follow-up meeting with you to discuss these issues further. Just quickly, I just want to let you know that this is all private and confidential and whatever is said here stays between you and I. So in regards to what I mentioned briefly about the referrals and stuff that I can provide, one of the legal requirements in community services or reporting or anything is reporting all incidents to the EPA hotline. Have you done that?
No, I probably, at the time I reported everything I needed to, but I probably haven't reported the extent of how I was feeling after the incident.
Okay.
I probably haven't been. Well, it probably wasn't until after the incident that I realised that it affected me the way that it did.
Oh, okay, yeah, and that's pretty normal that after incidents happen that it doesn't kind of sink in until a couple of days after in that reflection kind of period. So I will need you to report that to the EPA hotline and they will be able to assist you in receiving that trauma counselling or any type of resources that you need. They're really good with that. I can help you out with the referrals if necessary. If you don't feel as though they are meeting the requirements that you need. In regards to your documentation, in review of the incident reports, you were able to document what had happened. But I'm going to have to get you to do an incident report just in regards to how you were feeling and the repercussions of that incident. So that can just be documented and put in place because after the report is made, they will need follow-up documentation.
Cool. Yeah, I can do that. I think in the incident report I literally just went through facts and that sort of stuff. I actually didn't, and I was probably more focused on my co-worker than me. So I probably haven't really documented correctly at all.
Okay.
Now. After the incident, anyway.
Yeah. So how are you feeling now that it's been a little bit longer?
Yeah, probably. As I said, it's probably the trauma does kick in a little bit later. So at first when the adrenaline was rushing and all that sort of stuff, I was sort of just going through the motions, going, tick everything, make sure I've done everything correct. But then I probably didn't take care of me as much, and I was more worried about my co-worker. Obviously, he was assaulted, so I probably focused more on him than probably the client than actually looking after myself. So it's only now that I'm realising that I probably could have done a better job of looking after me.
Okay, Well, I'm here to support you through that and to provide you with those coping strategies and support mechanisms. I've got a couple of different documents that I can give you on regards to crisis situations and the aftermath of that. Because obviously working within this industry, we do come into quite a few crisis situations that are unexpected and that can be quite traumatic, and it's just managing them the best that we can after it sort of occurs. I just wanted to thank you on your performance and how you've been handling this whole situation. It hasn't gone unnoticed, and I appreciate that you were able to step in and actually help Carl during that. We definitely didn't expect him to escalate as far as what he did, and it's unfortunate that you had to experience a situation like that, but I am very appreciative that you were able to step up and actually support in that, because that's what we're here to sort of support each other and help each other the best we can. Yeah. Thank you, and we'll chase this up, like I said, about the debriefing before meetings and after and things like that.
Yeah.
We can do that and, put in place strategies and stuff that we need on the day.
Do you want me to update you when I've done the reporting?
That would be good.
And, cool.
Yeah, so you'll get an incident number after you report that to the hotline. Okay. So in an incident report that you complete, just jot down that incident number.
Yep.
That way we can all have the same paperwork.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Thank you.
Hey, just seeing how you are feeling, following up from the meeting that we had the other day. As I said, disclosing personal information and other outside of factors in personal reports that you made, I couldn't do in the meeting with our other colleague. So I'm just trying to follow up with you on your doctor's reports and the other report that you submitted in regards to being assaulted in the stomach, and just seeing if you're happy with a couple of solutions that I put in place so we can prevent this from happening again.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. Still a few little symptoms, still on a few bits of medication. But the swelling's come down a lot, and I can start to eat normal again and swallow normal, drink.
Okay. So there was quite a few implications that did occur, and what medication were you on?
I was on a few antibiotics.
Okay.
And a couple of painkillers.
Okay. Did you have to take work off for that?
Yes.
So have you notified the hotline for that, just so that's all noted, and then work compensation, everything can cover that and it's on record?
Yep.
You have? Yep. Okay, that's good. I'm really pleased that you reported it, and I'm very sorry that this happened, and I'm sorry to hear that you did have a few injuries occur from it. How are you feeling now?
Yeah, better.
Okay, that's good. So have you got the all clear from the doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So a couple of suggestions moving forward. When you joined our team, I know that we did crisis intervention training, and we pinpointed a few crisis intervention strategies and different techniques used in crisis situations and distressing situations. Would you feel, you have been with us for quite a few years now, there is an updated policy and an updated program in regards to crisis training. Would you want to participate in something like that?
Yeah, sounds like something that I would, for sure.
Okay, cool. So that just follows the basis of, like I said, different calming strategies, different talk down strategies. When we are in a situation of physical violence and life-threatening situations, you are able to manage them more, I guess, calmly and appropriately. Not saying that you didn't handle this situation calmly and appropriately, because from everything that I've heard, you handled it the best way that you could, and that's all I ask. I guess our main important one is ensuring the positioning in the room, so make sure that you're always aware of your exits and that you can access them as easy as possible. And again, moving forward, touching base with the facilitators that you're going to see, just to make sure that your client hasn't had a rough morning or hasn't had any triggers occur, because I think we did discover that he did have contact with his wife, which was a potential trigger for him, as we discovered per interview. When you brought up family issues or anything about the family, that was a trigger point for him, where he would escalate and start feeling quite agitated and shut down or become louder and aggressive. So if knowing that through the facilitators and that communication, we may be able to reschedule or plan our meetings around different times. So he's had time to calm down and things like that. I know that we work within a time frame, which can make it quite difficult to try achieve our end goals of assignments and assessments and programs that we put together. But flexibility, I guess, is something that we just need to have working with people, because situations happen and we want to try avoid all escalations if possible, which is kind of impossible, but definitely minimisation is our key here, because I don't want to see any of my workers or colleagues or anything like that come into dangerous situations like that again. So are you feeling ready to come back to work and everything like that, or?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Okay, that's really good to hear. All right. Well, moving forward, we'll put a few things in place to help with managing stresses and making sure that we're not putting you under strain or anything with your injuries that have occurred. And I'll work with you closely on your next assignment and support you the best I can.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.